There is $50,000 sitting inside the Australian tax system right now. It has your name on it. The government knows it exists. Your super fund will never tell you, and most Aussies will let it expire without ever touching a single dollar. That is not an exaggeration. That is not a clickbait headline. That is the law. Today I am going to show you exactly where that money is hiding, how to claim it before it disappears, and why the ATO is legally forbidden from reminding you it exists. Most people who watch this video will do nothing. They will forget. And in 5 years, when that $50,000 is gone forever, they will never even know they lost it. Do not be that person. Let me show you the loophole. It is called the Carry Forward Concessional Contributions Rule. It has been sitting inside superannuation law since 2018, and the vast majority of Aussies have never heard of it. Here is how it works. Every financial year, you can put a certain amount into your super before tax. That is your concessional contributions cap. For 2025 to 2026, the cap is $30,000. That includes what your employer already puts in. If your boss pays $11,000 into your super this year, you have roughly $19,000 of cap space left. But here is where the loophole kicks in. If you do not use all of your cap in a given year, the unused amount does not disappear. It rolls forward. You can use it in a future year, on top of that year's normal cap. You can carry forward unused concessional cap space for up to 5 years. Let me give you a real example. Over the last 5 years, say you never made any extra super contributions beyond what your employer paid. Each year, you had about $19,000 of unused cap space. That adds up to $95,000 of unused room just sitting there waiting for you. In a single financial year, you could contribute your normal $30,000 cap, plus that $95,000 of carried forward cap. That is $125,000 going into your super in one go. All taxed at just 15% on the way in, instead of your marginal rate of 30, 37, or even 45%. The tax saving alone on that kind of contribution can be $20,000 or more. Now, here is the part that catches people out. You do not need to be rich to use this loophole. If you have been working part-time, taken parental leave, been a student, worked casual jobs, or just never thought about super before, you almost certainly have unused cap space building up in the background. The ATO tracks it automatically. Every single dollar of unused concessional cap from the last 5 years is sitting in their system with your name on it. You can see exactly how much room you have by logging into MyGov, opening the ATO portal, and checking the Superannuation section. It takes 60 seconds. So who actually qualifies? 3 conditions. First, your total super balance must be under $500,000 at the end of the previous financial year. That covers most working Aussies. Second, you can only access unused cap space from the last 5 years. The oldest unused amounts expire first. Third, you make the contribution yourself through salary sacrifice or a personal after-tax contribution that you then claim as a tax deduction. Your employer will not do this for you automatically. You have to take action. That is exactly why most people miss out. The ATO is not going to send you a letter. They just let it expire. Let me walk you through a real-life example. Meet Sarah. She is 38 years old, works 4 days a week in admin, and earns $75,000 a year. Her employer puts about $9,000 into her super annually. Over the last 5 years, she has never made an extra contribution. That means each year she had about $21,000 of unused cap space. Multiply that by 5, and she has $105,000 of carried forward room. Sarah recently sold her old car for $18,000 and received a tax refund of $4,000. Instead of spending that money, she puts it into her super as a personal after-tax contribution. She then fills out a form called a Notice of Intent to claim a deduction, submits it to her super fund, and claims that $22,000 as a tax deduction on her next return. Her taxable income drops from $75,000 to $53,000. Her tax bill falls by over $6,000. Her super balance jumps by $22,000. She did not earn a single extra dollar. She just redirected money that was already hers. Now, here is the mistake that destroys the whole strategy. Some people forget to submit the Notice of Intent form. They put the money in, but never tell the ATO they are claiming a deduction. Then, the contribution gets treated as non-concessional, which means no tax deduction. They have wasted the entire opportunity. The most expensive mistake is contributing more than your available cap space without realizing it. If you accidentally go over, the excess gets taxed at your marginal rate plus an extra charge. That turns a smart tax move into a very expensive mistake. So, before you make any contribution, check your available cap space in MyGov. Do not guess. And here is a timing tip. The best time to use carried forward cap space is in a financial year where your income is higher than normal. A bonus, overtime, selling an investment property, or an inheritance. That is when the tax saving is largest, because you are deducting against a higher marginal tax rate. Now I know some of you are thinking, I cannot afford to put an extra $50,000 into super. That is not realistic. I understand. Most people cannot. But you do not have to use the full amount. Even using $5,000 of unused cap space saves you around $1,500 in tax instantly. That is money that would have gone to the ATO. Now it is in your super, compounding for your retirement. So what should you actually do by the end of this week? 3 things. First, log into MyGov, go to the ATO portal and find your unused concessional contributions cap figure. Write it down. Second, check if your total super balance is under $500,000. If it is, you qualify. Third, decide whether to make a small contribution before the end of this financial year or plan a larger one for next year. The Aussies who retire with $800,000 instead of $400,000 are not luckier than you. They just know which rules to use and which loopholes to step through. This carry-forward rule is one of the biggest. It costs you nothing to check. It costs you nothing to keep the option open. But ignoring it will cost you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The ATO will not remind you. Your employer will not set it up for you. The only person who can claim this money is you. Go find your number. Make a plan. Put this loophole to work. If this video saved you tax, hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not already. I will see you in the next one.